You know the arcade game Frogger? Kind of only know it right now these days as a reference for when pedestrians are trying to dodge cars while jaywalking from one side of the street to the other. East Colfax, kind of well-known Frogger area. So is the stretch of road right in front of the state capitol, an area that now may be getting an elevated walkway. Marshall Zellander live in front of the Capitol where pedestrians have stopped playing Frogger at the moment. But Marshall, you look through the accident stats there and they don't necessarily show the need for a walkway.
They stopped playing Frogger, but that one went against the light, but I shouldn't point that out. Mark, the stats that I found on the city's crash tracking website showed minimal pedestrian-involved crashes here in front of the state capitol on Lincoln at 14th and farther down there at Colfax and Lincoln. But in a year and a half, there may be a pedestrian walkway going over Lincoln to celebrate the country's 250th birthday and the state's 150th birthday. It did not take long to see the game of Frogger in action when we got to the Capitol this afternoon. 3 times in less than 10 minutes, people getting from Veterans Memorial Park, which is in between Lincoln and Broadway, and walking across to the state Capitol. According to the stats from the city of Denver, in the last 3 years, there have been 5 pedestrian-involved crashes at Lincoln and Colfax and 2 at Lincoln and 14th Avenue. All 7 of them have been at the intersections, none of them in the middle of the road. And only one of those was this year. But in listening to a presentation inside the state capitol today, the walkway seems less about safety and more about being a public art structure for Colorado's 150th birthday, which would require money from private industries that want their stories told through the walkway artwork.
And so we are going to call on industry and help organize these stories and also hope that those stories come along with financial support so we can turn those stories over to our local artists to integrate into the walkway.
The walkway would likely go from the Capitol West steps, not directly over Lincoln, but maybe meandering at an angle closer to Colfax. It has cost $1.5 million for the concept and design so far. That's public money that has been spent. There's going to be an effort to try to get at least $5 million in private industry business fundraising to try to limit or prevent any future public dollars from going into a walkway over Lincoln, Mark.
So you're telling me that we're turning 150 and we get a meandering walkway. That's, of course, what every Colorado resident wanted for our 150th birthday. So do you and I have to pay for it?
I guess it depends on how much fundraising comes from private business, because if the goal is to have it and then you essentially say it's happening and the money doesn't come in, then it's possible it goes through this P3 office at the state, which is a public-private partnership. If there's not enough private partnership, public help might be needed.
All right, Marshall, get home safe and make sure you make it across without having to play Frogger. Appreciate it.